An apology is supposed to heal. It is meant to soften anger, rebuild trust, and signal genuine accountability. Yet when a toxic individual apologizes, it often leaves the recipient feeling confused, unsettled, or even more hurt than before. Instead of relief, there is tension. Instead of closure, there is suspicion. The words may sound right, but something underneath feels wrong. This is not imagination or overthinking. The discomfort comes from a deep psychological mismatch between what a real apology represents and what a toxic individual is actually offering. To understand why these apologies feel empty, we must look beneath the words and examine the motives, emotional structures, and relational patterns that define toxic behavior. The difference between an apology and accountability. A genuine apology is not just about saying, "I'm sorry." It is an emotional process that requires self-awareness, empathy, and the willingness to tolerate discomfort. It involves recognizing harm, accepting responsibility without excuses, and respecting the injured person's emotional reality. Toxic individuals often lack one or more of these capacities. For them, an apology is not about accountability. It is a strategy. Instead of asking, "How did I hurt you?" they are thinking, "How do I make this situation go away?" Instead of focusing on the impact of their actions, they focus on restoring control, preserving their self-image, or avoiding consequences. This is why their apologies feel transactional rather than emotional. The words may be present, but the inner work is absent. Apologies used as tools of control. Many toxic people learn early in life that apologies can be used as a reset button. They apologize not to repair trust, but to regain access. Access to you. Access to forgiveness. Access to comfort. Access to power. Once the apology is accepted, they feel entitled to move on as if nothing happened. Any lingering hurt is viewed as a problem, not a natural emotional response. This creates a subtle power imbalance. The toxic individual frames the apology as a favor they have done for you, rather than a responsibility they owe you. If you do not immediately forgive, you are seen as unreasonable, dramatic, or holding grudges. This reverses the moral roles. The injured person becomes the obstacle, while the person who caused harm positions themselves as the peacemaker. The absence of empathy. One of the strongest reasons toxic apologies feel insincere is the lack of genuine empathy behind them. Empathy requires the ability to emotionally imagine another person's experience and sit with the discomfort of knowing you caused pain. Toxic individuals often struggle with this because their emotional world is dominated by self-protection. They may understand intellectually that someone is upset, but they do not emotionally feel the weight of that pain. As a result, their apologies sound hollow, rushed, or oddly detached. You may notice phrases like, "I'm sorry you feel that way. That wasn't my intention. I didn't realize you were so sensitive." These statements shift the focus away from the harm and onto the victim's reaction. The underlying message is not remorse, but defensiveness. Apologies that protect the ego. Toxic individuals are often deeply invested in maintaining a specific self-image. They may see themselves as kind, misunderstood, superior, or morally justified. Admitting real wrongdoing threatens this identity, so instead of apologizing for what they did, they apologize for how it was perceived. They may say, "I'm sorry if I upset you. I'm sorry things got taken the wrong way. I apologize, but you have to understand my side." These apologies contain built-in escape routes. The word "but" quietly cancels the apology that came before it. Responsibility is diluted, shared, or redirected. This is why such apologies fail to bring relief. They are designed not to repair the relationship, but to protect the apologizer's ego from shame. Timing that serves them, not you. Another reason toxic apologies feel insincere is timing. They often apologize when they fear losing you, or when they want something, when consequences become unavoidable, or when silence threatens their control. Rarely do they apologize simply because they reflected, felt remorse, and wanted to make amends. You may notice that the apology comes suddenly, without any prior acknowledgement of harm, and disappears just as quickly once stability is restored. There is no follow-up, no behavioral change, and no curiosity about how you are truly feeling. This pattern trains the nervous system not to trust their words, because experience has taught you that nothing actually changes. Lack of behavioral change. A real apology is incomplete without change. Toxic individuals often apologize repeatedly for the same behavior. This repetition exposes the truth. The apology is not a commitment, it is a loop. When words are not followed by consistent action, the mind registers the apology as noise rather than meaning. Over time, this creates emotional exhaustion. The injured person stops listening because they know the cycle will repeat. An apology without change is not remorse. It is maintenance. The subtle gaslighting within the apology. Some toxic apologies feel unsettling because they contain subtle gaslighting. They may rewrite events, minimize severity, or question your memory of what happened. Statements like, "It wasn't that bad. You're exaggerating. That's not what happened." When paired with an apology, this creates cognitive dissonance. You are being told they are sorry, while simultaneously being told your pain is invalid or imaginary. This emotional contradiction leaves you feeling unstable, unsure, and unheard. Instead of healing, the apology deepens the wound. Apologies without emotional presence. Even when the words are correct, something feels missing. There is no softness, no vulnerability, no emotional presence. This is because genuine apologies require emotional exposure. They require sitting with discomfort, shame, and uncertainty. Toxic individuals often avoid these states at all costs. Their apologies may feel rushed, scripted, or mechanical. They want to get through it, not be in it. Your intuition recognizes this absence. You feel that they are saying the words without truly meeting you emotionally. And intuition is rarely wrong in this context. Why your body doesn't believe them? Insincere apologies are not just detected intellectually, but somatically. Your body tightens. Your chest feels heavy. Your stomach knots. This happens because your nervous system remembers patterns. It remembers how previous apologies were followed by the same harm. It remembers broken trust, emotional unpredictability, and unresolved pain. While the mind hears the apology, the body prepares for repetition. This is why you may feel guilty for not accepting their apology, yet still feel unsafe. Your body understands what your mind is still trying to rationalize. The unspoken expectation of immediate forgiveness. Toxic apologies often come with an unspoken demand. Forgive me now so we can move on. There is little patience for your healing process. Lingering pain is treated as punishment. Boundaries are seen as hostility. This reveals the core issue. The apology is not about your healing. It is about their relief. A genuine apology respects the injured person's timeline. It understands that forgiveness is a process, not a transaction. Why you feel more alone after their apology. Perhaps the most painful part of a toxic apology is the loneliness that follows. You realize they do not truly see you. They do not fully understand the damage. They are not willing to meet you emotionally. The apology highlights the emotional gap rather than closing it. You may walk away feeling misunderstood, invalidated, and strangely guilty for still hurting. This is not because you are unforgiving. It is because the apology failed to address what actually mattered. Recognizing the truth beneath the words. When apologies feel insincere, it is often because they are not meant to heal. They are meant to stabilize, control, or escape discomfort. Your discomfort is information. Tells you that a responsibility was incomplete. Empathy was missing. Change was not promised. Your pain was not fully acknowledged. Understanding this allows you to stop blaming yourself for not accepting the apology. Sometimes the problem is not your inability to forgive, but their inability to truly apologize. Healing without waiting for a real apology. One of the hardest truths is that some toxic individuals will never offer the apology you deserve. Healing without waiting for a real apology. One of the hardest truths is that some toxic individuals will never offer the apology you deserve. Healing then becomes an internal process. It involves grieving what was not given, validating your own experience, and releasing the hope that their words will one day bring closure. Closure does not always come from them. Sometimes it comes from clarity. And clarity begins when you trust your intuition enough to admit, it didn't feel sincere because it wasn't.